Hello all, my name is Patrice. I'm a singer, songwriter, voice coach who has been in this industry for God knows how long, but I've been teaching for over 10 years. And the really cool thing about that is I've come to observe what works and what really doesn't work. And that's super cool because I can pass that forward to you all. And that's really what I'm here about, is I really want to help artists and make sure that they avoid the things that don't work and they really understand that the things that do. And that comes in two different realms of things. That comes technically, like your breathing and tongue and all those lovely things there. And it comes in mindset, not fearing notes. What I'm going to talk about today, it's a mindset that we want to get into, but also kind of something that we want to actually do, like action-based. And that is putting yourself around those who are further ahead than you. And I know this can be a super scary thing. So I want to dive into it a little bit more and explain what I kind of went through and what I've experienced, because I've been there, and the benefits of what goes into putting yourself around those that are further ahead. But before I dive in, take a quick moment, if you can, and subscribe, because each week I have content coming out and you can be the first to get it. You could also comment below on the things that you're struggling with. I'm here to help you. Again, be it technically, mindset, I want to help you out. And lastly, I want to help you out also by giving you a freebie to the first part of my singing course, which is Learn to Sing Like the Pros, the fundamentals of singing. Because like I mentioned, there's technique, there's mindset, both need each other. If you are not doing things technically correct, it's going to affect your mindset because you're going to be so much in your head. We kind of all know if we're not hitting something or not feeling right about it. But we could be having all the technical things, but if we don't have the right mindset, we're going to run into problems as well. So they work hand in hand. So today, I want to go over something that is going to hopefully help mindset-wise, but below this, you can check out something that will help you technically. So let's dive in. So I want to start by just addressing the fact that I totally get the fear and anxiety and all the upset or kind of like internal disturbance that comes from confronting actually working with those who are further ahead than you. And I get it because I've been there. It really caused me a lot of internal turbulence would be the best thing. It's really intimidating. And I think the biggest reason is there was a fear behind, oh my gosh, what are they going to think about me? I'm not enough. What if I do something wrong? And then it's like, what are they going to think about that? They're never going to want to work with me again. And so there's all those different things that come in. And the interesting thing about it, for the longest time, I kind of held on to that. And it put me in positions that I would do things, but like I wouldn't always go for like the biggest of things, right? Because it's like, what? I don't feel like I'm there. And the really interesting thing about that is that when I actually did that, a lot of those things that I was thinking weren't even the things that others were thinking, which is super, super interesting, right? Sometimes we hold ourselves back so much only to realize the very things that we were thinking were going to happen don't, or aren't even a thought to the other people, right? So that's first and foremost. And also just keep in mind too, with this, there's a lot of times this idea that we're the only ones that are experiencing this, right? I'm the only one that feels this way. When in reality, the really, I guess, cool thing, it's all cool to have fear of these other things, but I think it's nice to kind of go, oh, I'm not in this alone. And so when we start to realize that other artists feel these ways, because again, I've been teaching over 10 years and I've started to notice like, hey, almost a good chunk of people, especially those starting out, have a lot of similar fears or upsets or troubles. And so that's what I would pass on to you is if you're feeling this and this kind of hits you and you're like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense to me, or I've experienced this. No, you are not in it alone. So I want to dive into what are the benefits, right? Because I think that's important is we understand, okay, we're not in this alone, in this fear. you know, if I break through this, what will happen? What are going to be the benefits of working around those who are further ahead than you? So first and foremost, when we put ourselves around those who are further ahead than us, it tends to propel us forward. The reasoning is if you get out the mindset of there is a lot within, I think, any competitive industry, there can be jealousy. It's just a waste of energy and time. I think if you embrace those who are doing bigger things than you and celebrate with them and use it as motivation, you're going to be so much better off. Because those who typically go into the jealous mode, they tend to go down paths that are dictated by their feelings rather than what's the greatest good for them career-wise. So I think if you kind of just go, okay, great, I'm going to celebrate these people's wins. I'm going to be happy for what they do. And I'm also going to use it as really good motivation to pull me forward. So I think that's a huge benefit of being around people who are doing bigger things than you, is you are going to, if you take this on, do more action. You're actually going to do more things towards betterment for yourself. So that's first and foremost. Another really important thing is we don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? So if these people are successful and they're doing incredible things and it's relative to your industry or what you're doing, right? For us, we're talking about singers or artists. Just study what they do. Right? I think there's also the kind of idea that, oh, I'm not them. I can't do this. They're that because that's them. That's naturally what they are. And it's like, no, they are where they are because of massive action. Some people, yes, may be more talented than others. But to me, talent is irrelevant to someone's drive. And then the big goals that they put out there and then the targets and the actions that they take towards that goal that really get them to that point. So when you are around these people, you can just study what they're doing. I've really started to adapt this mindset. I was like, what are they doing that's successful? And then just doing it. Even if it feels really uncomfortable initially, that's okay. That's common. Anytime we're doing something outside of our comfort zone, right? It's going to be uncomfortable. It's outside our comfort zone. But I'm a firm believer that typically growth happens when we are outside of our comfort zone, right? When we're comfortable, we're in a good state. We know we're confident, right? Comfortable and confidence almost can go together. When we're uncomfortable, we're not always super confident. To get ourselves stable or balanced within that, we have to find that comfort in there. And that typically comes from figuring out what within there we need to do. We need to master, we need to understand, we need to learn. And so that's what I would say right there is like, watch them, study them, use what they're doing as motivation. So I just want to clarify really quick though, that in an art field, like singing, like being a performer, really anything, it is super important that you are authentically you, that you are uniquely you. But I do think there is something to be said, especially like business-wise, that you can follow the patterns of these individuals. People will study songwriting and kind of like things that they're doing structure-wise. Vocalists, you can look at technical things that are happening. Because what I've really observed is that when I watch these great business people, there are similar things that they're doing. Right? They're all them. They're uniquely them, and how they might present certain data or whatever it may be is them. But there's certain things that they're doing that are similar. And one of those being how I even came up with this video today is that doing this, they put themselves around people further ahead than them. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. And I really want for you to do that because I think you may find that it's going to pull you forward faster than you could imagine. And so that is on that end. I would like to wrap up by giving you an assignment. I think you should all take the time to seek someone out that is further ahead of you in your field and shoot them a DM. Call them, reach out to them somehow, send them an email. Maybe this person is super further ahead than you and you just want to ask them a question. You know, what would be a piece of advice you would give to an artist starting out or an artist where I'm at? You'd be surprised. I know a lot of times we can hold ourselves back and think, oh, they're not going to get back. I'm not worthy, like all that stuff, right? All that noise. But they're human. And it's nice to be like, oh my God, someone really enjoys what I do, or they're admiring what I'm doing. So you would be surprised with them coming back and being like, thank you. This is what I would say. And so it really can benefit you and also make them feel good. You might make someone say. So I want for you all to seek out, find someone who's further ahead than you, be it business, be it whatever area, and ask them a question or ask to collaborate. Maybe they're really far ahead and they won't collaborate. That's where the question comes in, but maybe they'll take a listen to your stuff and give you some great pointers. So I hope this helps you out. As always, I love being here for you all, and it would be super helpful if you like this video, if it helped you. Shoot a comment below if there's something that you realized in watching this here. And don't forget that there is the freebie underneath if I could talk. There is a freebie underneath this that you can access. It's going to give you the first part of my vocal program, Learn to Sing Like the Pros, the fundamentals of singing. And there you go over the base of technical stuff that you need to really jumpstart yourself as a vocalist. And you really need these things in. So until next time, I really, really hope success finds you and I can continue to help you bring out your natural voice.